Welcome to 90s Noise. I'm April, born 1991.
And I'm Ashley, born in 1988.
Wrap it
Wrap
up.
it up. Wrap it up, kids. We're wrapping up the year. Woo! Get those shaker. What are those, those shaker things that you twirl around your hand?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, we're definitely going to have to talk about that with toys when we get to that point. That was one of the most annoying things in the world.
Oh my God, yes.
And my brothers would love to just come up behind me.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, anyways, we are wrapping up the year 1991.
Another year down.
Another year down.
Dang.
But I have no idea where I was going to go with that. But...
I don't either. I literally mind blanked. I was like, where was I going with that? I'm just like, nothing to say after.
All right, Ashley. Like we did with wrapping up 1990. What
did we do there? Because I honestly forgot.
It's been a little while. So one of the things we just talked about was what our personal favorite point that we touched on for the year and what kind of we took from revisiting the year. Of what we touched on, what do you think your favorite 1991 part was?
I think mine, I really liked going back into the game shows, like the Nickelodeon Slime Time, like going back and revisiting all of those just honestly brought back so many memories that, you kind of forget about after a while. So yeah, I think that one was really cool to dig up.
Absolutely. A little shout out to 90s Con happening in Connecticut later this year for getting the host of Double Dare.
Yes.
Mark Summers. So if you're up in Connecticut, get your tickets fast because those are flying off the shelves faster than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys did.
That's right. Couldn't keep those bad boys on the shelf.
Yep. Definitely. That was definitely a really fun one to do and rewatch those.
Yeah.
I love that. And especially like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like they need to do a reboot because they
need to do an adult version.
Yeah. I mean, they do have it, but I just mean they need to do it the proper way and they need to come out here and so we can apply.
What they need to do is take back the Nickelodeon Studios and Universal Studios.
Yes, I'll be first in line. I will help them cut the ribbon. Like, yes.
Absolutely. You know how crazy that would be?
That would be so freaking awesome.
You know what would be even more fun is if they did that, but it was like a 25 and older park only.
Whoa.
Like you had to be alive like when it was actually going for it to get in.
Mm-hmm. Now that I would like to see.
Absolutely. Send the kids to like the Universal parks and let the adults have the Nickelodeon park.
Please, yes. Yes. I mean, aren't they building Nickelodeon World or not Nickelodeon World?
There's Nintendo.
That's where I was going with that. Aren't they building a Nintendo World? I feel only should be for adults.
I wish it was gonna be that way. I know the one out in Hollywood, California is opening this month, February, but I'm not sure when Orlando's park is supposed to open.
Be a little while, but we're gonna definitely have to go. But we also need to start talking about the video games. Like, I think 92 is calling our name and saying, hey, don't forget about
playing those games. Yes, absolutely. So that's one thing you have to look forward to once we get to 1982.
I think I said that though for 91. I remember I was going, oh, I can't wait till we talk about the video games. And then we never talked about the video games.
Well, because
So,
we ended up doing, I think we, because we decided to go ahead and do like the recess slash like
yeah.
what activity episode, mainly because we wanted to get to a year where we both kind of had a little bit more with the games. And since I was only just born in 1991, a lot of the games,
You mean you didn't pop out of the womb with a Game Boy in your hand?
apparently not. I mean, but as attached as I was to my Game Boys, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Okay.
Since we talked about we both really enjoyed going back to the Nickelodeon game shows. So, what is one of the movies or TV shows other than the game shows that if they could redo with the original cast, do you think you would want to have come back? Which do you think? Which would you pick for having to come back with the original cast?
Well, that takes a lot of. I don't even remember what we talked about. So the first thing that came to mind though when you asked that, the first thing that popped up, rapid fire, was Home Improvement. Like hands down, if that whole cast came back and everyone was able to make it happen, I would watch that show.
Speaking of home improvement, I was on Instagram and I'll have to find the little reel that somebody did, but and we'll post it on our stories and everything. She made the reel that did you know that JTT is officially now older than Tim Allen was when the show started?
That's really cringe to think that it's been that long. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Yeah, because JTT, I'm gonna like just start adding T's to his name. Uh,
JTTTT.
yeah.
Well, that's like I saw this other meme today where someone was like what happened 30 years ago, like, and he thought the 1970s,
Oh
but
my gosh,
it was
yeah.
1992. It's 1992. Like, I think the same thing. I'm like, there's no way that the 70s were that long ago.
I know. Yeah, so Jonathan Taylor Thomas was born in 1981. So he's 42 this year.
So,
So Tim, when it started,
or his character. What did they say? His character or the actor?
so how they said it was that Tim Allen was a certain age when it started. So he was 1953. So in 91, he would have been, no, 91, he would have been 30, late 30s.
Oh.
So he was 38. So Jonathan Taylor Thomas is now 4 years older than the age that Tim Allen
Well, I got a long way to go until I get there.
was. Same here. So. No, that would be a good one to have rebooted though, with the original cast, for sure.
Yeah. What about you?
Try and think here. I ask the questions, but I don't think of my own answers before I do.
I'm the same way. Rapid fire, go.
Yeah, rapid fire, I probably have to say it's hard for me to do this because my show that we really talked about was Full House, and they already have, in a sense, rebooted it. Not with all of the same characters. I
Right.
definitely would have loved to have seen somebody, whether it had been Ashley Olsen, Mary Kate Olsen, or even Elizabeth Olsen, take over the role of Michelle. I think it would definitely be very interesting, like you said, for Home Improvement, for them to do that as a kind of where are they now
Right.
type of
Yeah.
show.
Anything you're excited, looking forward to in 92?
92. Let's see.
I will say there's not like a ton of good movies that came out in 92, so I feel like the movie bracket's a little like lacking, but I know we're going to make up for it in a lot of really other cool content. So don't worry about that, guys. Like, we're good. But
Yeah, so I haven't decided if I'm gonna force you to watch a certain movie that came
oh
out in
yeah, I was going to
92.
ask you about it later. Like, so which movie are you picking?
The only issue is that the one that stands out to me the most from 92 is one that's I don't think on any streaming services.
Yeah, there are a few that we would have to rent.
But I think probably for 92, I think it's going to be getting into the games. Yeah, because with that, we're gonna kind of do, I think, a little bit more of a early 90s game.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we'll keep it focused on early half.
Yeah, and then once we get a little bit through the years, we'll go into some of those ones that are a lot, probably a lot more prominent in my memory,
Mm.
just because they're a little bit more prominent in my mind, just because I was a little bit more into games at that time. But I think I'm looking forward to going back through those games, definitely. How about the fact that some of our 1991 people, music-wise, are going on tour? Brian Adams is going on tour.
Oh shit, yeah. Didn't we talk about that? How we need to go see him in concert?
Yep,
Cause
he is.
yeah.
He is coming to Tampa. I think we
Oh,
may have to do it, Ashley.
oh my gosh.
They're actually not that bad.
Yeah. This year is gonna be crazy with tours and Comic-Con type conventions that we're gonna be going to. Like, whoo.
Yeah, definitely. If you're a listener and you are in the Orlando, Tampa area, let us know if you're going to be hitting up any of the conventions coming in. We got MegaCon at the end of March, and then I think there's a few conventions later throughout the summer and into the fall that will also be hitting up just to have fun like everybody else.
Heck yeah. I know that we were going to talk about the Super Bowl, but that episode didn't really pan out since somebody's got sick. Is there anything you want to say about the Super Bowl that you feel you want to mention? Even though I know it's going to be after, but I will say, for since we're talking about 91 still,
Mhm.
you do know that New Kids on the Block was the performer that year, right?
For 91,
Mm-hmm.
was it
Yeah.
them? Well, so here's the thing with the Super Bowl. So the halftime show, so actually 1991 was one of the first years that they decided to bring in big artists for the halftime show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I believe previously it was just like college marching bands and different things like that. And in 1990, I believe it was, there was a Living in Color special that aired during halftime, that got an outrageous number of viewers because it was halftime. They had nothing else to do, but it was on a different channel. And so the broadcast company that does the Super Bowl decided, hey, we can't let our viewers be channel surfing during halftime
Oh.
because they weren't interested in like these college marching bands.
Right.
That's why they started polling New Kids on the Block. It's just double check, that was the first year that they had a big musician to poll views. Then a couple of years later it was Michael Jackson, and they've had some pretty crazy halftime shows.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I think my favorite was obviously when NSYNC made an appearance. Like
Oh
that
my
was probably like
gosh.
the one of the first ones I think I ever watched. So I
I
was
was
like,
like
I have to
2000,
tune in.
2001. Yeah,
Yeah, one or
that
two, I think. Yeah.
I think that is probably the first one that I liked. I knew who the artist
Mm-hmm.
was and liked it. A couple years earlier had the Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of great performances.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl wise, it'll be interesting. Well, I think we're gonna watch at least through a halftime show, simply
Mm-hmm.
because the Kansas City Chiefs are did make it to the
Woohoo.
Super Bowl. So this is the third year that I've been like since I was born in 1990. Well, this is the third time they've been, and it's all been within the last 5 years. So they really weren't a team that was very Super Bowl bound most of the time I was growing up. So it's definitely it's cool to have that hometown team finally
Yeah.
make it again.
Yeah.
We'll see who takes home.
Who are they competing against?
They're playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
All means nothing to me. Woo.
Well, it's actually interesting because there are brothers playing each other.
Oh, that's cool.
And so the mom's got like a split jersey and everything
Oh,
already.
oh my God, that's gonna be such a nerve-wracking one. Go for it! No, but go for it!
Exactly.
Go!
You're happy regardless, but you're also
I
sad because
know.
one's gonna be
Yeah.
happy, the other is not.
Oh man, that's rough.
Both teams wish good luck. We'll see who wins and add a little disclaimer after.
We're gonna be disclaimering all of our episodes moving forward.
Uh,
We disclaimered Full House.
oh, that's
Now we're gonna be
right.
disclaimering Turtles. Now we're gonna have a disclaimer from the rap. Oh fuck! What is happening?
I mean, we should probably have a disclaimer just at the beginning of everyone, like,
Yeah,
hey,
like at the beginning of those one shows where it's just like beep, you know what you're getting into.
yeah, please advise that this is not made for children's ears. There may be F-bombs dropped throughout this
Oh
episode.
man. And we are not sorry.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, I got a quick question for you. So
Ooh.
throughout our going through 1991, was there anything that you found during your research or anything that we touched on, but you feel like we may circle back to give a little bit more time for it, whether
Hmm.
something we didn't give it any time to, or want to give a little bit more time because it was a little bit more influential to you once you got some time to think about it
Mm-hmm.
than what you initially thought.
That's a very thought out question. I like that. I don't know if anything in particular from 1991 stands out to me that we discussed that I feel stuck with me long enough or that big with me that I carried it on further into my childhood and stuff that I want to ever go back on. I think what I said about it and, how we revisited it, to me, that's good enough. I think that there are some things that we didn't get to from 91 that I think that maybe we'll go back to down the road, like maybe as a bonus episode or just an extra little fun thing to do that I feel like there was some stuff still hidden there that I wanted to kind of explore a little bit and see how much I remember, I guess.
I agree. I think I don't know if there's necessarily things that we didn't cover for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the fact that I was only just born that year. I don't know, we may see about doing a little deeper dive into a Full House down the road on another episode that we've got cooking,
Okay.
but and kind of tie it in with one that we've already kind of
Mm-hmm.
discussed.
Yeah.
I feel like there's, at least for me, it was such a big part of my growing up in the 90s
Mm-hmm.
that there's other things for me to touch on.
Right. I get what you're coming from. Yeah, that makes sense. I can't think of anything else to say about 91.
I can't. Nope. Nope. You're good.
I'm 91 out. 91 out.
I completely understand. We did a lot of watching for
I mean, it's only going to
1991.
get worse, though, April. Like, let's be honest. Like,
It is, but I think these first couple years we're kind of going through pretty quickly. I feel we may spend a little bit longer on some of
yeah.
the following years just because there is so much more to touch on because we're both older and have our own experience as
Right.
opposed to for me 1990 was more based off of family members' experiences going back to things, and then 1991 I'm now alive, so now it's going to be my experiences
Yeah.
to the best of my memory.
Yeah. And I
But
mean, it's still going to be interesting to see how much more different we find ourselves to be in some things. You know, I think there's still some digging, and I think we're gonna still find some areas where we're still pretty different in a lot of things we grew up with, and so I think that's gonna be kind of fun.
yeah, I think we might also start doing a couple of little short episode shorts that maybe like some like rapid fire questions between each other for the
Ooh,
year. I
there we
we're
go.
we're still we do appreciate everyone sticking with us. We are still kind of getting some
Figuring
of
it
the
out.
yeah,
Figure it out.
exactly. I like the play. I like the play. I think we've got a good amount of things cooking that I think everybody will enjoy.
And I want to. I mentioned this before. Well, I told you about it before. One of my late night cuckoo-nesses. I was like, I feel like we should do something where we talk about something neither of us have ever seen before. Like find something from each year or just some random years and just find a movie or show that neither of us have seen and just go into it like completely new and
Completely
just kind of
blind.
yeah, and then just talk about it and then just kind of see what we thought about it, and if we had watched that growing up, do we like feel it would have influenced us at all, or did we just completely hate it and it was just like, no, this is stupid.
All right. So I think we're kind of wrapped up with 1991. So be sure to let us know what you think real quick
Well,
before
don't
we
we have
do.
someone who we wanted to give a little shout out to?
We do. Do you have it pulled up?
I do not.
I don't either. 'Cause we do love hearing from people, whether it be on Instagram or reviews. And we had been sick, and so we'd posted a little thing because we did happen to miss a Wednesday, unfortunately. And we got a super sweet message from Retro 80s, 90s, 2000s podcast. And they were saying that we have become their commute podcast and that they hope we feel better. So we really appreciate that, the love on that.
Love that. Super sweet.
We are feeling better, so thank you so much. And since you are a fellow podcast, if you ever want to do a collab, let us know. We're open for it. Quick little shout out there.
Whoop, whoop.
You got the review up?
Okay, so from Snick at Night 93, I like the wordplay there.
Mm-hmm.
April and Ashley do a phenomenal job creating a fun and jovial atmosphere. They bring amazing perspective to all things great from the 90s. Woo!
Thank you, jovial. I love the use
I
of
love
that
that,
word.
right?
So thank you. We love hearing from people, and yeah, keep them coming. Apple Podcasts, you can rate us there, leave a review, and we'll give you a shout out. And if you hit us up on Instagram, we're on Instagram probably a little too much, but
Too much. Whoopsies. I work, I swear.
yeah, exactly. At work, it's just sometimes you're on hold with somebody and need something to do. So
Well, we also should mention that we are going to be taking a little break for a couple of weeks after this So this wrap up episode will be
End of season one.
it for a few weeks, but that's just so that we can get our lives together and get some really good content out there for you guys.
Yes, we have a lot of good things coming in the next couple months for sure, and just throughout the rest of this year. So we're just putting some finishing touches on some of those. So we'll definitely still be active on our social medias and keeping everybody updated. Probably, yeah, just a couple weeks. We'll let everybody know once we get back on. Give everybody time to get caught up also. In case any of you guys missed an episode.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, let us know. And let us know if there's anything that you guys would like to hear us talk about. Since we're going to be kind of opening the door to things we've never seen,
Ooh. Maybe,
maybe give
yeah,
us a
maybe we should
suggestion.
just watch what they tell us to watch. I'd be
Yeah,
down for that.
I would be too. Hey, always get other feedbacks. So,
And then we can have you on as a guest and we can all share our opinions.
absolutely. So, if you reach out, definitely, again, can touch base with us on social media. We've got an email that we check regularly. We're easy people to talk to.
I may not look like I'm the easiest person to talk to, but hey.
But we would definitely love to hear from everybody and just know what your thoughts are on 1990, 1991, and the rest of the 90s coming up.
Bye.
Bye.